can't beat the Mexican. I wonder if I could put a link to the coffee mod up here. 94.1. I'm back on the old school logbook, pen and paper. You can't quite beat it. I have a collection of logbooks from when I compete at like 8-7 weeks out. My junior one I always look at. 94.1. That's a big drop since Monday. 0.7 key drop, and it's Thursday today. Another couple of days. It's my rest days. My rest days are horrific. They're good with what it does to the physique, but my word, this needs to be turned on. Up at 6, client work until about 10 AM. I'm hungry. I think, right, go and do my food shop to try and take my mind off it. Even though that's kind of slightly hypocritical, because I'm going to a food shop to get my mind off food. But it just activity, come back, bit more work. Still very hungry at this point. Take Gunner for a walk, come back. Time to go and do 45 minutes on the stepper. Jump off the stepper, 15 minutes on the bike. And boy am I ready to eat. But then I condense my meals, intermittent fasting video coming very soon. I condense my meals, so it's very nice. It's very nice. You have to get through the pain in order to receive the reward. So today is Thursday. We've got Gigi coming down and filming a longer form video for the member site. He'll be coming here at 11. Then we'll film our push B. In today's episode, I want to go down a little bit more of an educational route and give an insight into how you can, for yourself or your clients, set up a nutrition plan for when you are cutting. We're now kind of entering the re-entry of normality, and a lot of people are looking to kind of shift some unwanted pounds and body fat that they've gained over this lockdown period. So I'll kind of drip feed, because what I do with these educators, I don't just sit down. In order to keep you gripped, I do a little bit here, then I eat, then I train, and I sprinkle a little bit more there. Do you know what I mean? So let's begin with macronutrient breakdown. Once you or your coach has given you a set amount of calories, what do you then do in terms of protein, fats and carbohydrates? What I do is always start with protein. 1.6 to 1.8 grams per kilo. There is argument to push that upper limit. I know Lyle McDonald likes to put that 2 to 2.2. When you are pushing that upper limit, it's more venturing into that thermic effect of food and satiety, and it's an area that I would increase protein when the deficit gets larger, so the client doesn't have too many issues with hunger. 1.6 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilo. So then you'd use that by working out your calories and times that by 4. So that's protein. We'll put protein to one side. What do I work out, or how do I work out fats? So general rule of thumb for me is 1 gram of fat per lean kilo of body mass. So if you're 100 kilos and say 20% body fat, what's that, quick maths? 80 key? You're looking around about 80 grams. I tend to bump fats up a little bit on a rest day, just to give that client the opportunity to have slightly fattier cuts of meat and peanut butter and dark chocolate, and I'll pull carbohydrates down. Generally there'll be a difference between training day and rest day macros, because expenditure isn't high, and we can kind of use that increase in deficit to our advantage. So protein over there, 1.6 to 1.8 grams per kilogram. Fats, 1 gram per lean, and then what you do simply is the rest of your calories that you've got, you divide by 4 this time, and then you've got your carbohydrates. So that's the first instalment of how TM Cycles would look to program a client's macronutrient breakdown. The time is now 6:30. I'll jump on the computer for an hour, do some Ibiza classic transformation work. 7:30 till 8, I then do some steps for half an hour, come back, feed Gunner, jump in the car, 45 minutes on the stepper. I make sure that my cardio is the very last thing, because as soon as I jump off that stepper, I am very hungry, so I can then just come back and indulge. 4 minutes, not bad. What time is it? What? You know what what time it is. It's TMC Big Breakfast time. Post 45 minutes on the stairs. It was okay today. Yesterday was hell. Yesterday was very tough. I had to turn Jimi Hendrix up to full volume yesterday. Made some adjustments to the TMC Big Breakfast. We still have our 1 pack of oats, square of dark chocolate, 90% and some blueberries. That stays the same. Cereal's changed. So out goes Cocoa Pops, in goes Nesquik. So per 100 grams, 76 carb compared to 84. So that's about an 8 gram carb saving. The toast has changed. These are the King's Meal, no crusts, 50-50. 1.9 grams of carbs are less compared to the ones that I was using, the Hovis, the small. And they're a little thicker. So that's 2, 4, plus the 8 carb. That's like 12 grams of carbs saved, which on prep's good, because it means later on in the day when I'm a little bit more hungry, I can have a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. And then for our protein, 200 grams of egg whites in an omelette, and our 4 bacon medallions. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 of them. 4. And that's it. Gonna watch Zelena, Warzone, Nuke Event Reaction. Fantastic session filmed with Gigi. That should be out on the member site in a couple of weeks' time. Tonight we have the How to Grow Your Back, like a full back workout for anyone that is interested on the TM Cycles member site. And next week we have our first leg session going up, which is more a posterior chain style workout. More dieting tips with TM Cycles. I want to talk about sustainability and ensuring we keep some level of enjoyment within our 18, 20, 24 plus week prep. I can already see the bro science bodybuilders. What do you mean he's having Nando's wraps? Don't fucking piss me off. Don't piss me off. It's all right, relax. We need to detach from this mindset that this particular meal, which is the same calories as this particular meal, is just the same. Yeah, it's just the same. Completely understand the point when food is deducted and we have to become a little smarter with food choices. You know, when that 250 carb I'm eating gets taken down to like 150, I won't be having cereal. But where it's at the moment, I can afford to have cereal. What do I like after training? I like a Nando's with Josh and Joe. Could I go to Nando's and have a chicken wrap? Maybe. Just means pulling off fats and carbs here and fats and carbs there. Or we can get a little smart. We can go and buy Weight Watchers wraps. 22 grams of carbs per wrap. 0.8 fat. Fantastic. That's 44 carb I'm having. Who doesn't want cheese in their wrap? Co-op reduced fat Greek salad cheese. 30 grams of this is 3.2 fat. 30 grams is a lot. I have it on my bacon and my eggs. So even if I have 15 in one wrap, 15 in one wrap, that's 3 grams of fat, perfect. Protein source, 200 grams of chicken, easy. And then we have our Nando's. Don't judge me because I'm having lemon and herb, I'm switching it up. Last week it was hot, the previous week was garlic. It's all about flavour on prep. 20 grams, that's what I've got in here. 20 grams with my seasoned chicken, with my chicken seasoned. 0.7 grams of fat and 0.2 carb. Why make it hard on yourself? I just, can't remember what bodybuilder it was, but he was like, I'm not getting any additional points on stage for having bland chicken. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make my carrot cake cream. Probably, this is like gold dust at the moment, the Perform carrot cake way. My agent is in contact with Perform, and it seems positive so far. 150 grams, that's what we have. It's a very simple procedure, but sometimes in this life simplicity is far from that. 1 scoop of the Perform, so 30 grams. It's a shame that their protein per scoop isn't as high. I mean, I'm fine with it. It's 22, not too bad. You know what we do is we make love to it. Very gentle around the outside, little in the middle, around the outside, collect some more, little. I'm going to speed this up because otherwise it's just awkward. Okay, so this is what we're working with. It is literally like the inside of a carrot cake. It's this thick, creamy. Now, if you use the Velocity Whey from Strom, the chocolate mint was nice yesterday, or the custard cream, for example. The casein inside the Velocity Whey creates a slightly more kind of mousse-like. So, whatever takes your fancy of an evening. This evening I want my sort of carrot cake cream. Now, to heighten the effect and get the true carrot cake experience, we have some pecan halves, which I believe is the dominant nut in carrot cake. Could be hazelnut, I don't know. I was told it was pecan. So we've pulled some peanut butter away from the diet so that we can have some nuts. We've got 10 grams. That's what you should do on prep, you see. Just break things up. Break things up on prep. More mouthfuls. Psychologically, you're eating more. So when I have my chicken stir fry, I chop it up. I chop the chicken up into very small pieces. Maybe I'll just stop at 7. I'm allowed 10, but I'll stop at 7. Get that on the zoom. And then the pièce de résistance. Top it off. I just crushed up some dark chocolate. This is 1 square of 90% dark chocolate. And there we have our evening dessert. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Incroyable. Welcome back to more tips, dieting tips with TM Cycles. This time we're talking about flexibility, but within the day. What I mean by that is pulling food from here and adding it onto here, or maybe taking a little away from here and add it onto your pre-workout meal. You want to cater to the needs of yourself or your client. So what I found in the evening is I'm getting a bit hungry now. I'm like, that wasn't quite enough. But then I find myself with other meals, like my dinner, which is the chicken prawn stir fry with rice. I'm like, I could probably not eat this half a pack of rice. So out goes the 125 grams of Uncle Ben's rice. And I just have what I have on a rest day, which is my prawns, chicken and veg. And that gives me the ability to then have a big bowl of oats before bed, accompanied with my carrot cake cream. So I'll go to bed all warm and fuzzy, and I have a lovely sleep in my 300 thread Egyptian cotton sheets. It's about being smart when dieting. Don't feel that you have to stick to a consistent, regimented amount of food at set meal times. By all means, if you find that your performance in the gym is lacking a little bit, then you might want to pull some food from here and add it onto your pre-workout meal. That's what I've done. I love a big breakfast. You see the breakfast that I have, and it makes my sessions fantastic. Performance, reps, pump. And then after and in between, I'm like, yeah, as long as I get my protein in, I can pull food from here. And then in the evening, when I'm sitting and watching telly, I'm like, it's fine. Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I just watched the first portion of that bit. It doesn't really make any sense when I was talking about protein, fat and carbs. Somewhat. I do apologise, forgive me. On prep, sometimes you're under the illusion that you're saying and doing things that are correct, but in essence are highly incorrect, or just don't make any sense at all. So I'm going to run through this in real time just so you can get an understanding of how my mind works when looking to program a client's diet plan and work out their macronutrients. Now, it's a blank whiteboard. I should put it up really. Don't worry about, I'll be using the green screen soon for slightly more educational content coming very soon. So we'll say that this person, notice I said person, not he or she. Okay, I don't, gender fluid. Whatever you want to be, you can be. We'll say this person is 100 kilos and they can consume, or they have the ability to eat 4 meals per day. What calories should we put them on? 24. We'll just put them on 2,400 calories. And time of the day they can train is, let's kind of just do this as like a stereotypical 9 to 5er who trains at lunch. So they train on their lunch break at 12 p.m. Okay, 2,400 calories. Now let's reference the beginning of the video whereby we discussed the best protein intake, which was, go and shout it at the screen, correct, 1.6 to 1.8 grams per kilo. So for this person, 100 kilos times 1.6 is good. You are doing amazing. 160 grams of protein this individual is on. Fat, now what did we say? What did we say I program for fat? 1 gram per lean kilogram. 20% body fat, let's just say this person is. So 80 kilos of them is lean, which would put them on 80 grams of fat. Here come the calculations, ladies and gents. Stick with me on this. I'll try my best to explain it. How do you work out the calorie content of 160 grams of protein? How many calories is in 1 gram of protein? 4. Well done. 160 times 4, 640 calories. Now there's a difference with fat. How many calories are in a gram of fat? Yes. Did you know I was actually going to become a teacher? My dad's a teacher. Big up. Bloody hard job. So 9 this time. So 80 grams times 9, because there's 9 calories in 1 gram of fat, 720. So here we've worked out the calories from protein and fat. Now what we do is we add those two together. So 640 add 720 equals 1,360. So what do we do at this point? In order to work out our carbohydrates, we'd have to divide. So with protein and fat, we timesed. The total caloric intake of protein and fat is 1,360. We now take that away. we take it away from the 2400 calories that we set this person, equals 1040. So that's calories, remember, that's not grams. So 1040 would have to be divided this time by how many calories in 1 gram of carb? 4, good. Divide by 4. 260, well done Thomas. Nice clean round. If it was like 262 or 263, just round down. If it's 265 or 2, maybe completely up to you. I mean, this is like the first week of dieting. You'll be paying close attention to scale weight. You can always make adjustments, but it's a nice round figure for us. So 260, and that is the carbohydrates. So we have 160 grams of protein, 80 grams of fat, and 260 grams of carbohydrates. For this person who's 100 kilos, he has 4 meals a day, trains at 12. Now let's, as this is a video about how we would set up a diet plan, let's set it up. So what we'll do is we'll do meal number 1, and these can be kind of just like, we'll do like stereotypical times. So meal number 1, before work, let's say, I don't know, like 8 a.m. As this person trains at midday, we'll put our intra workout here. So this is how all of my clients and those new startups on the Ibiza Classic see their macronutrients and meal timings broken down on both a training and non-training day. So we have intra here, the meal 2, which will be considered like post-workout. We'll put that at 1. Meal number 3, we'll say get home from work maybe 7. And then the final meal can be 9. So meal number 4 is at 9. So we've got 8, intra will be around about 12, 1, 7 and 9. In terms of keeping things consistent with that drip feed of protein, we can just divide 160 by the amount of meals to give us what you'd have per meal, which is a nice 40 grams of protein. Okay, so 40 grams of protein, 40 grams of protein. And now that will stay consistent between each meal, which is always nice. Now onto carbohydrates. Now, as you know, I've always been in favour of peri-workout nutrition and favouring slightly more carbohydrates around that window. The reason being, we can, especially for clients that don't want to become too regimented and strict, we can be more flexible around that window, consuming slightly higher GI carbohydrates, your sort of cereals, your bagels and jam. We're looking to just utilise that food source as fuel. Okay, so meal 1, it's the first meal of the day. Would we load them up on Cocoa Pops and bagels and jam? Probably not. If someone maybe had a couple of meals and they train in the afternoon, maybe their pre-workout meal I would. But after a night's sleep, I'd still want to kind of opt for a slightly slower digestion. Some oats, maybe some oats, some toast, a little bit of peanut butter for some fats, for example. So as we are favouring carbohydrates around that workout window, we'll put this person on 50 carb. 50 grams of carbohydrates at meal number 1. Their intra-workout will be 25 grams of carbohydrates of cyclic dextrin, and their post-workout meal, slightly higher in carbs, let's say 75 grams. So that whole peri-workout window, we can consume 150, or I've programmed this person to consume 150 grams of carbohydrates. What would you do for fats? Let's keep fats relatively low around that peri-workout window, just so we can utilise the carbohydrates as much as possible. We'll just say 10 grams. So 10 grams pre, 10 grams post, and no grams of fat intra. It'll just be cyclic dextrin and your essential amino acids. So we've got 150, leaving us 110 grams of carbohydrates between meal 3 and meal 4. Now, as I said, most people tend to favour slightly higher food, higher fats, higher carbohydrates in the evening time. So what we could do is turn this 7 p.m. meal into a pro-fat meal, whereby we just have a protein source and a fat source, and he or she could have a nice 110 grams of carbs before bed. Oh, you got no carbs before bed, you're just going to store it as fat. Ignore that. We could do that, or we could say a small amount of carbohydrates at meal number 3 at 7. Let's say, what should we say? 40 grams? 40 grams of carbs. For fats, I'll put them on 20. And then we just simply calculate what we should be having at meal number 4. So 20, 30, 40, leaving us with 40 grams of fat on the last meal. Get your peanut butter in, get your dark chocolate in and your oats, get creative. Carbohydrates, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190. That should leave 70. Hope to God that's correct. 9 minutes, I do apologise. But I hope that just gives you a little insight into how I would program. This is very quick. Do you know what I mean? Don't freak out too much is what I'm trying to say. This is just a very brief breakdown of what I would potentially put someone on. Not only knowing a little bit of information regarding their weight, their meals, and what time they train, but you can see a slightly high emphasis around their peri-workout window with carbohydrates, fats towards the end of the day because most people tend to kind of crave fat. I certainly do. Okay. God. I'm also run through that like real time as well, not just so you can kind of see the methods to my madness. Anyway, any questions? I'm sure there'll be quite a few questions. Any questions at all, please drop a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But I just wanted to run through how I calculate their protein, fats. That would leave us with carbohydrates. How we then distribute that across the day for someone who trains at midday. Okay, what's the time? 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 4 more hours. 4 more hours, Tom, then you can eat. You got this. I'll see you very soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you, good night. Much love.